In 2026, AIRAKSARANG wanted to embrace new in a way that I've never really embraced it before. I have my tried and true, super rewatchable dramas that I always know I can turn to, but this year I wanted to give the new dramas the chance that they deserve. If you're able to gain the type of exposure that these writers, directors, and producers are able to achieve with such a vibrant industry, such as the A drama industry, then I think it behooves me to fill my watching journey with things that aren't expected, things that I wouldn't normally reach for. The 2026 drama we are all trying here comes straight out of Hangul, and today I'm going to give you my first impression. And thank you so much to all of the new subscribers. Your subscription means everything to me. So, without further ado, let's get right on into it. For those of you who would like to support Sarang, you can support yourself. Yeah, you can add to your jewelry collection because I have a jewelry store and my website is lilliancollection.com. If you are interested in going there and showing your girls some love, please do so. And let me know that you went to AIRAKSARANG to check out the bracelets, even if you didn't buy something. I want to know if you visited the site so I can get your feedback. Today's 2026 drama out of Hanguk is We Are All Trying Here. Guys, this year is a year of new, and I'm proud of myself because I'm getting braver as I go, because we know that when you hear a title coming out of Hangul that is We Are All Trying Here, baby, you know that drama is not going to, yeah, it's not gonna do what you normally expect out of a drama from Hangul. But here's your warning shot. If you don't want to hear what's going on in this drama, I only watched the first episode, so I'm not going to blow too much. But go ahead, dip out, and come back, girl. Come back, bro. Come back. Don't leave forever. Come back so you can hear and weigh your impressions against mine. I love the way that we all disagree at times. That's healthy. So the stars of this are none other than Koo Kyo Kwan. He is our, you think that Oh Jung Se is the lead on this. And he is a main an actor on this one. But you kind of notice that the story truly is about the character that Koo Kyo Hwan plays. And then here are the other folks who have a bit of prominence on this, and that's Go Young Jung. And this one, he's more of a supportive character, but his name is Shim Hee Sub. So I'm gonna try not to get distracted by him, but just remember him. And some of you may recognize him from other dramas. But yeah, we gonna get to you, Hisub. So the opening credits on this dramas out of Hangul have a really good way of starting good. They start good. Now, when it's a drama that's more than 60 minutes, and I'm not hating on Hangul for this, I am a writer. I know how hard it is to keep people's attention without exhausting them. So when I say that most dramas coming out of Hangul can start really good, but they peter out quite a bit before you get out of the first episode, this isn't a dig, because it just is what it is. The first 20 minutes of this, you're going to be on it. Because one of our dear male leads, Oh Jung Se, he does a superb job of, dragging his body into the neighborhood bar, sitting at it as a bedraggled, just exhausted man who is really conflicted by this, who we find out is an actual person. And this person haunts his very existence. He haunts his existence so much that, he fantasizes about kicking his movies off with this person who's a real life friend of his dying. It's a really a fantastic plot line, and if I'm not mistaken, it may be the actual plot line in a story that he's produced, because he is a producer, a movie producer, and he is recanting to his buddy who's also at the bar about how, the genesis of his story starts, where there's this task force. And at first you're thinking, oh my God, this is like a sci-fi. And it's like, no, he is recanting what his movie is about. And it is about this human, I'm going to get it wrong, but it's this human deletion task force, let's just say. And in his fictional world, there is a ministry of human deletion, baby. It's like a SWAT team. And when they decide that there are people in society who lower the quality of life for other people, they literally hunt them down and end them and get rid of them. And our male lead in that scene is so like wrung out. He is so emotionally on edge that he was the inspiration behind the, let's just say, the fantastical world that he built in his movie, that he is receiving some high acclaim for. He's not just a producer, he is a successful producer. And his movie is inspired by this person. And this person's name is Hwang Do Man. Hwang Do Man, my lord, how do you describe this guy? It is so hard to capture him into words. Like, even if you don't want to watch this drama, I do think that it is beneficial for you to watch just that one episode, the first episode, because this is not a character. This is not a character you have probably seen in a drama in a long time, regardless of the locale, regardless of C drama land, J drama land, Taiwanese, Philippines. Okay, you have not seen a character like this in quite some time. Hwang Do Man, how do you describe him? So he has wrung out Odungse. He is so loathsome that he's the person in the friend group, and friend is like a very loose term to use to describe him. He's almost like a leech. He just will not let go. How can I describe him? He is, baby, when I say broke, I'm not talking about he live in the hood of Hanguk. No, he lives in the slums, and that's not enough. He lives in one of those buildings of a Hanguk drama that you've watched, that, the person who's the male lead or the female lead, they live in one of those apartment buildings that should be condemned because the fucking foundation is going to collapse if the wind blows south to 10 degrees one day. Yeah, that building. I'm talking about the building where when he gets up in the morning and looks out the window and the camera is showing, the first perspective shot of him, the camera's not the camera. Yeah, the camera's peeling because it's horrible to look at. But the paint is cracked and broken. The windows are on by a hinge. The balcony is fucking molded out and just discolored. And yes, this is where he lives. A building that they just have not inspected yet, because that motherfucker needs to be demolished. This is where he lives. He's sleeping in a efficiency apartment. His day starts like he wakes up and he hurriedly has to go and do whatever he does in the bathroom, because he's not a person that I'm convinced showers or something. And he hurriedly gets his clothes on so he can go to the school in the slums and teach acting theory or writing theory or some shit. He is a master describer of what it takes. So, for instance, he goes to this class of, he ain't got number 8 students and they are all in the wrong sections. Y'all know how when you were in college and you had a class that didn't quite have the numbers and everybody goes in class and you take your seat all the way in the back, and then somebody's in the front, somebody's on the east, and somebody's on the west. And the teacher's like, y'all need to all sit together, baby, because it makes my anxiety calm down. It makes me feel like I'm actually talking to a class instead of empty seats. Okay, so his classroom is like that, except he don't give a damn where y'all sit. Everybody can be in a different spot. It don't matter to him because what matters to him is just to be able to get up, stand up in front of people, and people have to quietly, semi-reverently take him in. He's speaking and he's telling them that, the story you wrote, young man. He's focused in on one student and it's, the story you wrote about this person, why are you writing what a person who is rich would do? Like, if you have money, do you panic if you fuck up? No, you cool because you know that you've got the money to cover over a multitude of sins. And he's like, why are you writing characters that you have no experience with? This is the marker of an amateur. You're writing characters who you do not have the ability to connect with. Therefore, the reason why your stories struggle is because you don't understand the way that somebody with means would behave. He's like, do you have some money? And he's like, no. And he's like, you broke, right? And he's like, yeah. He's like, okay, you write that story because you know what it feels like to be completely and totally on your belly. You know what that feels like. So stop writing these fantasy stories about people that you're not giving it the correct take on because you have no experience of that. And it sounds good. And as a writer, I'm thinking, damn, how many books I need to unpublish because my rich people are not acting right. I'm like, oh shit. But this one girl in class who is all of what? 20 or something, raises her hand and she's like, something name. And he's like, yes. And she's like, ain't you broke? And he's like, not answering because first of all, this girl is a little bit too intuitive. But then she says, why you not successful though? Because she didn't say this, but the undercurrent of everything she says is, if your theory holds true that only a broke person knows what to do with brokenness and then you can describe it poignantly and brilliantly, why you broke though? Why have not you succeeded? And the teacher, Hwang Do Man, was so fucking checkmated that he could not say anything. The only thing that you could hear was this alert in the class. And at first it's like, oh, his phone is going off, but it's not. It's this watch he's got. It's this smart watch he's got. And this will lead us over into a dinner that this group of directors, they're about 8 or 9 deep, and they get together with each other because they formed a little bit of a club. It's like a club because they went to college together, and one by one each of them have had their time in glory or what have you. They each have achieved a certain level of success where one of their movies or multiple of their movies have gone on to receive national acclaim, and they have a group based on that. And Hwang Do Man is a part of this group, but kind of not a part of it. He's like the only person in the group that has not made it. And when you add that plus his physical and emotional disposition, he just makes people feel uncomfortable. So when he comes to the dinner that they're all having at this joint, he makes people feel uncomfortable. But remember, we're in Hanguk society, and I'm not saying that every citizen in Hanguk is like this, but we know that the last thing people are gonna kind of do is tell you to shut the fuck up and sit down, and stop or leave. I think that these characters, at least, are long suffering of Hwang Do Man, because he comes to the dinner, y'all. He eats like an animal, you would rather watch a dog eat at your table, on the table with you, like a person, than you would Hwang Do Man. He eating off his plate, your plate. There are no portion sizes. It's not a piece of kimchi leaf. It's the whole fucking cabbage. He stuffs down his throat. All the noodles stuffed down. The wine. He kicks it off with a goblet. Then he says, fuck that. This is too fragile. So then he takes a regular glass and pours the wine in that and drinks it down like Kool-Aid. I mean, Hwang Do Man is a fucking train. He is a train wreck. He is a walking starving artist, except he actually is. He lives in the slums. He's late on his rent. Baby, I don't know who this is. If it's his brother who finally comes back from working on a railroad or something, and Hwang Do Man is irritated by this brother. Rather, the brother is irritated by him, because the brother's like, come down to the factory. We'll teach you how to weld and all that. Once you get the hang of it, you're good to go. You need to do this instead of bullshitting around all day. He's like, I'm not bullshitting around all day. I'm thinking, or something, what artists tend to. If you live an alternative life, if you trying to make it out here, you gonna look crazy. So this is a shout out to those who are off the beaten path of the 9 to 5 here at AIRAKSARANG. I am off the I've have a lot of experience in that world, but my lord, as awkward as Hwang Do Man is, I think that that's probably what kept me all the way to the hour and 5 minute mark, was that if you have any level of creativity or entrepreneurialness in you, you're going to connect a little bit to Hwang Do Man, because baby, you have had some days where, like, maybe you don't live like him, but baby, you have felt like Hwang Do Man. Like, he is like, Hwang Do Man is he most people conceal the shadow self, right? It's inside. It is not for public consumption. Okay. Hwang Do Man is like he is 95% shadow, and then the goodness, the mask that people present to polite society, that's what's inside of him. So, like, shadow, he's got that shit down pat. I'm talking about, he's got all these odd jobs he does. He works with I don't know, baby, is it the community college down in the slums? Okay. And then he works with the catering company, because when you're entrepreneurial, sometimes you gotta do a little gig work, because that money get lumpy. So he's at his little gig job where he's, catering here and there and yonder. And while he's in the kitchen doing his thing in the kitchen, he not raking the plates off, y'all. He's eating the food that's left behind on the plate. I'm just saying, like, look, he is going to, he is like a human trigger. He's like a fucking trigger shadow walking around Hanguk. He makes you it's uncomfortable to watch him. When he's around the director friends that actually made it, he's a nuisance. He like, if one is trying to revel in his accomplishment, if you look at Hwang Do Man, he gonna be scrunching his face up at you, making fun of you, making you look dumb. He gonna tell a story, like, for the 1,000th time, about how he is irritated by one of the directors because he sent him on a fool's errand by going to his brother's, startup. They were trying to create a prototype for this watch. It's a smart watch. Remember the watch that was going off earlier in the class when he was lecturing? He was stunned in silence. He couldn't say anything. Thankfully, it lined up with the end of class and they left. But he was wearing this smartwatch, and this smartwatch is like, the prototype or something. And they promised um, any trial users, 400,000 won for wearing this watch for a certain amount of time. And one way or another, they're able to track whether you wear it or not, so that at the end of the trial, they know who deserves to get the money. Nevertheless, it's an emotional watch. So when your body has kicked into high gear of a specific emotion, there's an alarm that goes off. So when the girl was like, "Baby, ain't why you not a success," or what have you, the face of the watch flashes the emotion. And let's just say in that moment it was humiliation. So he's at dinner and he's recanting this story. Remember, these directors are, you know, colleagues and alumni of his, so they've heard this story 1,000 times. He's the guy that makes people so uncomfortable that everybody gets a one by one to go out and start smoking, not to foster a smoking habit you've had all your adult life. No, you start smoking when you have to listen to Hwang Do Man, because at one point everybody went out to the table and everybody smoked. I was like, damn. And I thought that that's kind of trending around these dramas. I'm noticing that they're injecting the smoking in. They're not, this is what you guys are not doing. And I feel like you guys are doing it to give these people some sustenance or something. But I'm an avid drama watcher. So you writers, directors, producers, the real ones, y'all, not Hwang Do Man. Y'all gotta let us see them drag the fucking cigarette, okay? I'm just saying. It's the details. So, the apex of this episode is when Hwang Do Man is leaving a disaster of a movie. Remember, um, our another lead in this, Oh Jung Se, he his movie is taken off. So not only do they kind of convene once, they convene multiple times, because when it comes to the release of a movie, you have the initial success, then you had a straight up success, then you had a award. There are a few different checkpoints along the way of a successful movie. And every time they convene, Hwang Do Man comes. So after one disaster, I'm talking about Hwang Do Man, he gets himself. Now we watching a drama out of Hanguk. If you can say this person has a drinking problem on a K drama, something's wrong, because everybody in a K drama is a de facto alcoholic. Baby, he takes it and he says, "Hold my soju," and he does it like nobody else can drink. Like, he sits there, drinks himself into a complete stupor. But Kang Man is so fucking weird that he can't even really get drunk. Like, he's the guy that can drink until oblivion. So the apex of the episode for me, and y'all, I'm getting okay. The apex of the episode, I've said that 3 times now, I'm sorry, is he is at a railroad crossing. And you know how you have to wait because a train is on its way, and you're standing there and you're waiting, and he is met there by Ko Yun Jung. And we remember her from Can This Love Be Translated? What did I think when I saw her in this? I mean, mm, you know, every time I see her, she just reminds me of just like I don't want her to feel bad for this. I think that the roles that she is acquiring maybe are calling for this. I've never acted a day in my life, so I'm not going to pretend like I understand what it takes completely to approach a role. I'm going to extend her some grace here and say that the 2 roles I've seen her in have required this out of her. I've prefaced it, okay? She has an NPC face. I hope it is not a derivative or the result of like high levels of plastic surgery or dermatology. 2 things that nobody that's broke can say they wouldn't do. Okay, like dermatology, that's feasible, but I'm just saying, if she's got NPC face due to cosmetics and this is her goal and she wants to do that, girl, keep doing it. Okay, if you need to. But I'm just saying, when I see her face, I see you know, I see a face that lacks emotion at all. And then the makeup they do on her, both in this one and Can This Love Be Translated? Anytime the most lively thing about you is the color of your dress. Because when I think about her, that's all I can think of. That's what comes to mind when Can This Love Be Translated? Remember when she was climbing the mountain with 6-inch dagger pumps on? She had on the most neutral tastic, like this the dress she had on in the opening credits, and scene one, episode one. That color looks good on everybody. I don't give a damn if you as chocolate as they can be or if you're as fair as they come. That green, hunter green, jade, I don't know which green it is, y'all, but to me, that green is a neutral. You can rock that at any skin tone. And I just will always remember it was a beautiful dress. It was a beautiful color. But her, it was almost like, I don't know. She's got NPC face, y'all. And you could tell that when they were at the railroad crossing, baby, that these two are going to end up being a thing. I know. And look, AIRAKSARANG stands for, you know what it stands for. Baby, I'm always looking for the love. This is one drama. I can almost say, girl, run. You ain't this lonely, or you this lonely? Because Hwang Do Man, let me tell you what Hwang Do Man does for fun. Okay. So one night, it could have been this same night because Hwang Do Man is literally insane. He is insane. He is insane. For fun, now y'all know that Hanguk is special. Like it's like the slummier it gets, the more heights you have. Like all these dramas, like if you live in the hood, baby, in Hanguk, your ass gonna live atop a mountain peak. I know. Your motherfucking house is gonna be up 1,000,000 steps. Your damn neighborhood might slope down at an angry slope. So we on one of these angry slopes, y'all. He decides that he gonna take off running like a bat out of hell. And you know what happens when you on a slope is you accelerate. And he's saying something, I'm paraphrasing, to the tune of, I'm going to destroy myself. And if I get to the end of this and I'm done, then I'm done. But if I'm not, then hey, I've done something. And he does this and he hurdles himself down this angry slope of this street. When he gets to the end, he literally crashes out. And his fucking face, he's got the kind of gashes on your face that expose tissue on his, the side of his jaw, at his eye, brow and shit. When we see the scene of him sleeping in his efficiency apartment, his fucking knee needs medical attention. Like it is, looks like a fucking ham hock. You know how ham hocks have that exposed, uh, yeah, cartilage and all that shit. Like Hwang Do Man, and he's worse than what I'm describing here. Like you have to see him. Okay. Plus, the person that's playing him looks like a complete method actor. I mean, he looks like he went and moved into whatever buildings need to be demolished to prepare for this. Like, he looks like he actually ate food out the trash and shit. Like, he is doing this role all the justice. And okay, so they're at the railroad crossing. NPC face female lead. I just, I don't want to make you feel bad, girl. This what you was going for though. Like you want your expressions to be what they are because for you and the directors and producers, that's a beautiful face. There's no makeup to be found. Whatever is on her is like beige. Everything just beige. So it turns out that she keeps pulling her sleeve down on her wrist because she got conned into one of these fucking emotional things. And because she lives in one of them apartments that's super close to Hwang Do Man's, she can hear him being nuts. He's like, sometimes I go outside and, because he's awkward as fuck. So, like, when somebody else is next to him and he can talk to him, he go on and talk and he have a one-sided conversation. So he's like, they not doing shit. She's just standing there. But he talking. And he's like, I get energized when I can stand in front of people and just talk for like over an hour. Cause she lobbies questions at him, one by one, but it's like, I'm gonna ask you a question. You gonna talk for 5 minutes and then maybe I'll slide another one in. And that's how she's doing it. And he's like, I get the maximum amount of fulfillment in from when I can talk to people, it like literally charges me. Like I'm being plugged in at that point. She's like, and he's like, you know what I do sometimes when I'm alone? And, I go to the Green Terrace, y'all. I go up to the terrace and I just yell and scream and shit. Like it's a fucking Chinese New Year and you're like screaming out your fucking wishes and shit. So he does that. And she's like, I know, I've heard you. And he looking at her like, okay. And at one point he sticks a finger out and he touches her. You know how you touch something that you're tentative about touching and you just touch it with that one finger to kind of like poke it a little bit. So he does that. And she looks at him. He's like, I'm sorry. And she's like, what's up with your jacket? Like he's the guy. Most of us, if we have like a hole in our clothes, if you choose to keep wearing it, we don't want to draw attention to it. We show as fuck don't put no finger through it because we know that's going to make the hole bigger. So he's got this trench leather coat on. And he like drives his pointer through it as much as he possibly can, but like right there in front of her as if this is amusing. And he's like, you know where I got this? I got this from some kind of place where it was like some kind of an auction or something. And this is like a genuine World War II soldier's coat. And if you get shot right here, it's like literally at the left lapel. And it's like, you dying. And she asked, y'all, MP is not M, y'all. N. NPC face. Y'all can hear all the fucking muscles in my face moving when I speak. This lady here says, why would you want to wear a coat of a dead soldier? He don't have no answer for this because Hwang Do Man is so insane that he does not understand. He doesn't understand that everything about him is weird, like next level weird. But NPC, she does not say this with any inflection or with any judgment or with any inquisition. Like she's not actually curious. It comes out like, why would you want to wear a dead man's trench coat? I mean, I don't even think I did that with no emotion because I just don't know if I can pull it off. So he's like, can't answer it because it doesn't make sense. So the train passes and, in this scene, we're supposed to get that the red string or some shit, has finally met or whatever. Okay, so y'all, in conclusion of this first impression, this is not, look, if you have the stomach for this, keep watching. I recommend this for those who like tragedy. My takeaways from this drama is that they had better be jockeying Hwang Do Man for success. I'm talking about all this motherfucking struggle, all this insanity. He had better become one of the directors, the last director in his group to make it. Or else I'm going to walk the Hanguk because he going through too much, y'all. Now, if you going through too much, you might not be able to watch this drama. I'm just going to keep that a buck. You might not really want to watch this because he lives in there's nothing shiny about this drama. Nothing. If you are, entrepreneurial, you're off the beaten path of a job, baby, don't watch this one. You got to watch the shit that's going to inspire you. Now, I'm not saying that that's not what they're going to do because it looks like he's going to end up finding love. But as it relates to the love, NPC plus Hwang Do Man is an incredibly unattractive couple, not because they are ugly personally, but his personal affect. And she is just, who is she as a character? Because I really didn't give you a character sketch of her. She's a character where she works at a publishing house, let's just say, for lack of where she might actually work. She's the person who passes on your manuscript to the asshole who throws your shit in the trash as if, are there recyclers in Hanguk? And why didn't you take that fucking paperclip off? Like, why are we ruining all these resources? Just let us go ahead and shred and recycle this paper, and let's put the fucking, back into the magnetic holder. Like, why are you doing that? So he's that guy. He's the guy that chews her out every day because she bothered to put a manuscript on his desk. She has, it's not even NPC face, it is sad face. She looks like, I mean, yeah, Hwang Do Man might be a walking shadow, the walking void, but she is like walking depression. I'm sorry, she is. She is absolutely dreadful. She just does not smile. She looks like she's going to cry or worse, because we are looking at a Hangul drama, okay? She is absolutely awful. Like, you go around her, and it just seemed like she would just empty your tank. Cause she just, it's like, girl, what we need to do? Should we go shopping or drink or something? Like, I will drink if it means you open up some. So this is her. She is also a woman who, her mom has a kimbap shop run from home, so the customers just kind of come up to the side window in the kitchen, and they place their orders and they pay for it. It's very humble, it's very cute. She sells her kimbap from there, and she comes home, and before she gets there, though, she has to go to the convenience store because she has to buy two empty containers. And I didn't know what the fuck this was about until she got home. But before she got there, she like peeled all the sticky off of it, the stickers, and she gave it to her mom. And her mom was like, "Did X that probably dumped you for a good ass reason enjoy what I sent him?" And she was like, "Yeah, he ate it all up." And I'm like, "Girl, I get it. You want to lie to mom that you still with homeboy, but um, you do realize that when you open this up, it's gonna smell like fucking new. Okay, it's not gonna smell like there was anything in it. You know what I'm saying? Mom is not running a home business because she's stupid. She probably know you doing this. You gotta at least buy the shit at lunchtime, go to lunch, swish some kimchi around in the shit, and then close it up or something. So it's weird, but this is who she is. And then she's depressed, forlorn, and stuff. And she's sitting in the kitchen, of her humble apartment with her mom, and she hears Hwang Do Man on the terrace screaming and shit at night. This is what happens. This is the love story we gonna get. NPC and disgusting, So I can't get excited about this couple. I'm sorry. It's no. Mm-mm. Will I move past the first episode? Because of Oh Jung Se, who I love seeing and stuff. If he's in a drama, you're ready. But let me. Unfortunately, he's not a main enough character for me to trust they're gonna give him more screen time, because like the only time we see him is when they are having their successful directors meetups. Shin Hee-sub, he's the most exciting thing about this drama. Not because I want to continue to watch him in it, which I do. I love his Mr. Rogers sweaters, baby. He is green flagging me. Like, he looks safe. He look like, you know what I'm saying? He look like you could sell him a secret or something. But I just like his face. Okay. Now y'all know I am going to get shallow at some point on this shit. I love his face. He's gorgeous to me. Like, him and them old Mr. Rogers sweaters. Like, Mr. Rogers is safe, and I like his safety sweaters that he's rocking in this. So y'all know I had to go find them, right? Because I will walk over your house or whatever. But I found him, and it looks like he comes from a few dramas that have, decent ratings. You take them with a grain of salt. The highest rated one is So Long. So Long, See You Tomorrow. That is a drama that's a BL. It's a movie, if I'm not mistaken. Y'all do realize I'm going to watch that, right? Okay. And then he's got another one called Meta, If We Were in Hangul. And that's a 2019. I believe it's a movie, and it's got a 6.4 rating. But baby, when you just there to stare at a person's face, the number, it doesn't matter for me. And then we have Blossom 2016. It's got a 7.0 rating, and that looks like another romance drama. So, you know, I don't know how much I can watch of Hwang Do Man. I may have to peek in once he makes it, because I'm gonna tell you, I am going to win. I will windmill over Hwang Do Man if they don't give him some success in this shit. Like, his life is too hard for them not to be giving him some success. It looks like love is on the way, and that is what it is. I just feel like, maybe her NPC-ness is, the coolant to how crazy and hot he can be at times. And not the good hot, y'all. I'm talking about he's just on 10, y'all. When he not sleep, he on 10. So maybe he does need that balance of a little douse, a little coolness on your ass to calm you down. Maybe that's what we need from him. But I am super glad that I discovered Shim He Sub. And if nothing else, I will be checking out his BL movie. And if you come back to AIRAKSARANG, I'll tell you what I thought.